say hello. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Q&A with the ghost hunters, Anne Renata and
Renata Daniel.
She does speak, otherwise known as the old bag. Somebody just called her an old bag on TikTok.
Old bird.
Oh, the old bird, sorry. The old
I haven't
bird.
got to the old bag bit yet.
And we've just discovered that you can do replies on TikTok. So we're starting to reply to everyone. It's great fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then we had another one that we found that there was a lovely lady who was saying that sleep paralysis is not sleep paralysis, it's demonic. And she has no
idea.
No, it's just all religious bias, and yeah. Hey Craig, how you going? Good to oh wow, that's 2 in a row. I'm impressed. Hey Karen, hi Robert, James, James, Carolyn, Jody, Seth, Fiona, Msmachiavelli, how are ya?
Robert Baker, gorgeous. Tonight isn't tarot night.
Yeah, it's not tarot
Q&A, paranormal Q&A. If you come back on Thursday and ask a question,
Nicole.
We'll be able to draw a card for you.
Have you recovered, Bronwyn, from the drive? The drive going home was so much easier than the drive getting out there. Hey, Kaz, how you going, gorgeous? Long time no chat. So, we have been in Dubbo this weekend. Hi, John. I hope you got home safely if you're watching us on your big screen. Yeah, so we were at Dubbo and we seemed to enter some sort of time vortex or something on the way there.
It started in Dunedoo.
Yeah, I left home about 10 to 10 in the morning and we got there around about 5 in the afternoon. I don't know how that happened. It's a 4.5 hour drive. I just don't get it. But I don't know if you've seen the TikTok video that we did. I noticed these little, you know, when you've got a truck that drives along, they drop little things of dirt and it gets on the road, like little splats. This splatting went on for kilometres and kilometres and kilometres, and I suddenly went, I don't think that's dirt. I think that's mice. And we pulled over because we needed to know, and sure enough, they were little furry bodies that had been splattered all over the road. Apparently at night time, there is just a sea of mice across these roads. On the way home, I was very vigilant to work out just how far out from Dubbo these splats lasted. 160 kilometres. And that's only just from Dubbo back towards our place. Who knows the other directions it goes in, but that sort of brought home to me just how bad that plague was. Or it's still there, but I think they're starting to get on top of it. Yeah, yeah, have a look at the TikTok, or I might try and put it up on the page. It got blocked because they put a screen over it, said confronting images. Apparently it's okay to have maggots coming out of your head on TikTok, but you can't have a little fluffy pile on the road that's been squished. Yeah, it will all die in the winter, you're right, Msmachiavelli. Yeah, well, they've actually resorted to buying cats in some area to try and get on top of all of it because it's so bad. Oh, right out to a lightning ridge as well, Andrew. Wow.
I just can't imagine. There were areas of the road where you could see hundreds of little bodies in like a few metres of space, just hundreds on both sides of the road. It was just, it got to a point where it was just quite sad. And I know people have said, don't feel sorry for the mice. But it's awful for the truck drivers to be going through places like that and having that happen. It's awful for people just in normal cars to be driving through at night and
having to run over little bodies.
Mice.
It's awful. I know that they're a plague and I know that they're destroying the lands, but for us city folk to just kill them, it's disturbing. Hi Stephen, how are you? Yeah, it's that's a poop load of mice ghosts. You are not wrong.
We had a great time at Dubbo Jail. The jail looks awesome. They are doing extensive renovations and have got a number of grants, and they have really outdone themselves with the presentation of the jail. We had a number of spots that we were working with. Pardon me. And we had the male cells, the female cells in the hospital, and the gallows that we were working with on the night. And we had investigations and experiments set up for everyone to take part in. And yeah, look, some were quite quiet, some areas were quite quiet, and some areas were quite active. And again, it would depend on the group that you were in to what activity you were getting. One of the interesting things that happened was the gorgeous young lady from Dubbo Jail who was there supervising us for the night actually saw lights go on and off.
Oh, you didn't tell me about that.
And they weren't supposed to be on because she was the only one who could operate them from her mobile phone, and they weren't supposed to be on.
Which lights were going on and off?
Not quite sure which ones. I think Christy would be able to tell you.
Crispy!
But it really kind of shocked her because she said, I've never seen anything like that before. So, we have our next Dubbo Jail tickets up. They are live and you can find them on Newcastle Ghost Tours at the moment. They will go on Frightfully Good, Anne and Renata page shortly, and it's for the 17th of July.
Oh, I'm going to look it up the date, but she's beat me to
17th of July, 7 till 9 and then 9 to 11. So you have 2 sessions. And we had a couple who booked both sessions.
Hi, Bronwyn and Justin.
So they came back for a second go.
Yep. Have you ever been to Homestead at Junee? Hopefully it's the next one. We have.
Kate, a number of times.
And that's where I got my best photographic evidence that I've got so far of something that I cannot explain. Haven't had a lot of other experiences out there. I've had some very nice chicken schnitzels and dinners and apple pies and ice creams, and Lawrence tells a fantastic story.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what? I actually like the outbuildings better than the homestead itself. Maybe it's because I've been there so many times, but I actually like exploring the carriage
space. Where
space.
the young boy was set fire to and then perished.
And the old
later.
home, the original homestead, the original home. And then the other little one where they had the boy that was chained up. They're very, very interesting. Very interesting indeed. So, Kate, head on out there and absolutely do it.
Yeah, I was a bit weary today, Ashmore. It was hard going to drive that far on one day and then turn around and drive back. The portal was really interesting, wasn't it, Justin? Vicky sort of went down a deep hole and I had to pull her out of that and ground her back to reality. She'd taken on a female inmate that was in there who was worried about her daughter. And Bronwyn was absolutely nailing it. She was doing great guns on it as well.
I get to miss out on all of these things because when you are in your own little spot during the investigations, you tend to stay there. You're there for the night, so you don't get to see what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe we need to mix it up a little bit so we swap around our duties so we stay fresh. Or are you happy doing what you do? I love doing the spirit box.
Don't mess with the concept. It's working well.
No, the concept stays the same, just the people.
So who has some questions for us? That's the most important thing. That's why we're here tonight.
We do have a question.
We're here to answer questions. Yes, we have been to Tomoko House a number of times. The last time was this year. Yep, the last time was this year. I am trying to get a hold of them to allow me to go back in shortly, and I've just had no response, so I will have to get back onto that Miss Ghost Host. But yes, been to Tomoko House several times. It's an awesome place to investigate.
Sorry, I'm just trying to work out where we are up to. Okay. I have a question. Why, when I'm unwell, do I get such strong feelings of presences, not presence, but presences around me? Are we in a different energy space? Is there an explanation? Good question, Nicole.
Do you want to answer that, or would you
Well,
like
I
me
mean,
to?
first off, it depends on what sort of unwell that you are facing. Are you tired? Because that can lead to what's the words for brain function, where the brain is not working to the best of its ability. So you are not fully aware of your surroundings as well as what you would normally with all your senses take in. So that could give you the feeling that something's not quite right. Is it you've got a fever, and that could actually cause issues as well? What would you like to throw in there?
Well, could be as simple as if you are, and it will depend, Nicole, on what you mean by unwell. Are you talking about unwell physically, or unwell mentally, or unwell in both capacities? Is it with stress or anything like that that you are speaking of as unwell? Because that will often make you so hypersensitive and strung out that you are really in touch with your environment and the differences that are happening there. I mean, your presences may be your spirit guides that are there trying to help you to sort of get out of that energy drain and get you into a better place. So they're there protecting you, whereas at other times when you're well, they kind of stay back. So it could be a whole lot of different things that could be happening, Nicole.
And thank you so much, Renee. I work in the outback New South Wales. Wow.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you've been facing the mice then. Oh. What do we think of the Necrophonic app?
I've tried it. Don't like it.
I don't like it.
It's got too much of the reverb happening and not enough.
Honestly, I need to spend a bit more
sounds?
time working with it. It's just
Yeah.
I love the one that we do use, that we have great success with. So, you know what it's like when you get a favourite and you sort of
Yeah,
stick to
I
it.
have it on my phone.
Would anyone like to see what it looks like, sounds like? I have it here as well, just in case. Oh, no.
Got to shut Lloyd up. Shush, Lloyd.
Hang on. My daughter's sending me instructions on what she's going to do when she goes into labour. Alright, so that's Necrophonic. And you can add different effects to it. So it's got echo, it's got reverb, it's got white noise, it's got the sound bank. So I'll put echo on.
I like that one.
So I'm going to put reverb on now. And there's white noise as well on there. So that essentially is it. Still going, sorry.
Like anything else, you give it a go, see how it goes. Always with any type of app that you use, you've got to just understand that you are getting pieces of radio or words that have been put into a word bank, and echo and reverb have been added to them.
To make it sound spooky.
Yeah, so we have to use our sensibility in what we're getting. And
make sure it doesn't have access to your microphone or to your location. If it has access to your microphone, then it's just going to start copying the words you are saying, and you go, oh wow, it must be a ghost because they're repeating the words I'm saying. No, it's just the microphone. And location, they will use words based on the location of where you are. So we were at Dubbo jail the other day, so they would have been saying jail, prisoner, demon, torture, all that sort of thing. So just be aware of that. Alright, we've got Shell E. How often do deceased relatives of participants show up when you're investigating a site? Good question.
It depends on, I guess, how we are making the connection. So, and depends on our own focus on what we're trying to focus on. So we've found that participants show up when we're doing a lot of table work or seance work. Not so much when we're sort of doing the spirit box, and we're really focusing on trying to speak to the ghosts of the site. But they will they will often turn up, and sometimes as a psychic that is on a tour, I may pick up on some information even prior to the tour that needs to be delivered for someone who's coming to the tour, and sometimes I will do that. Sometimes when we're doing a clearing on people at the end, if they wish to have one, a deceased relative might come through and offer a piece of information as acknowledgement that they want to give to that particular person. So there are a number of reasons why they will do that. Obviously, the person we're speaking about is entering into a zone of acceptance and willingness to communicate. So it's like a red light to the family who has passed
not
over.
That sort of red light, but you know
and
what
they're
I mean.
going, oh my God, they're ready. I'm going to try and get in there and give them some information because they're ready now. So that can certainly happen.
Apparently today is the National Paranormal Day.
Yeah, apparently. I don't know.
Because Danielle said, "What did we do to celebrate? What did you do?" We put on a podcast and answered people's questions online. That'd be right now.
Yeah, that'd be right now. I did 5 loads of washing, Danielle. That's pretty ghostly.
I actually had a little break from it today, which was much needed. I had a photo of my cousins and my cousin Sue gave it to me. I put it on the shelf and it flew off the shelf the other day. No wind, no air, unexplainable. Very interesting. I wonder who was there trying to get your attention. Msmachiavelli, hell yeah! At every opportunity. In actual fact, what are we doing this Friday, Renata?
Well, we are actually travelling very interstate. We're going to Norfolk Island and we're going to be there for 7 days.
Solely for the purpose
of investigating
and teaching and hanging out with Liz and the guys on Norfolk Island. So freaking excited. This is a good question, Renee. What's the difference between using tarot cards and oracle cards? Is it personal preference or feel?
I saw a really funny meme today, Renee, that may answer the question for you. So oracle cards will say, love and light, and the angels are speaking to you, and it's all going to be wonderful, and it's going to be fantastic. Tarot cards will say, girl, you've got an issue. We need to deal with it. That's the difference.
But also the tarot takes a lot more understanding. The oracle cards, you can just go with your gut instinct with the picture on your page, which you can do with tarot, but there is so much more knowledge attached to the tarot, which is why Renata is a tarot mistress.
Or master.
Yeah. Have you ever picked up on anything at a place during the day? Of course. Yeah. It's the only reason why investigators investigate at night, well, for those who know why they're investigating at night, is because it's normally quieter and there's less people around. There is stuff happening during the day. Absolutely. When we go to Norfolk, we're actually doing a private residence during the day. Somebody's got some stuff going on. Spirits
will be there during the day or night.
Thank you, Karen.
Absolutely. If they are spirits of place, they are there all the time. If it's residual, it will tend to happen when it's sort of programmed to happen. So if your residual haunting happens at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you better be there around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So it will depend on what type of haunting you are trying to explore.
And a big shout out to John. Hello if you're watching. Thank you for stopping by. And that's not John Pinkovich, different John.
Oh, different John.
Different John. He knows who he is. Anyway, let's get on to Susie. Hi, ladies. Any new insight into the chaos happening around us at present? I'm just observing, not caught up in it too much.
That's the residual stuff that's happening with regard to the big stuff that we've had over the last 12 months. Yeah. And everyone thought that this year they were just going to jump into 2021, everything was going to be fantastic, it was all going to be over.
Voila! Fixed!
We are so awesomely lucky here in Australia that we can actually travel and get around without wearing masks. We are forgetting, because it's no longer in the news, that in many countries overseas they're still experiencing huge trauma and they are still in the middle of it.
It's worse than it's ever been.
Yeah, so look at India and look at what's going on there.
The numbers. It's astounding.
Well over 250,000 dying a day. So, you know, the world is still in chaos. There is still a lot of that energy around. And you know what? A lot of people have fed on that horrible energy for a really long time. And they really don't want it to go. They love the drama. And I know that's a sick thing to say, but some people are stuck in drama and they love drama. And if no drama is happening, they'll create drama.
That's why I love trolls. I so love trolls. It's so much fun. I'm a little bit addicted to trolls.
Don't you be putting that out there.
No, Nicole, so she was talking about fever, unwell physically. I think we answered your question for you. I hope we did anyway. I love your videos. Oh, thank you. My mother and I have been checking out old hospitals where our family worked in the late 1800s. Oh, I hope you've got some pictures. Sunbury and Beechworth asylums. Have you or would you investigate those? Yes! In a heartbeat. We were trying to fit it in when we went to Melbourne a couple of weeks ago. We just physically couldn't get out there and get back in the 3 days that we were, and also do Isaac's show where we helped flog merch. So we actually did a podcast on Sunbury Beechworth. Mm-hmm. So if you go to True Hauntings and look that up, you will be able to listen to it. Hi, Erin. She might smack you. I'm just going to keep scrolling.
Not interested in ghost hunting grannies as a title. Not interested in hearing about old bags or old birds when it comes to people who are replying to what we put on TV, because that is really such a huge age bias, and it seems to be fun and fantastic when it's the older men that turn up and are having a wow of a time doing these things. But when it is older women showing themselves, let's bag them out. Let's really get under their skin and tell them they shouldn't be on TV. They should be sitting at home somewhere crocheting.
Knitting some booties for the grandchildren.
Making pumpkin soup and putting it into plastic containers into the freezer to feed their grandkids. Stuff yous all. It's not happening.
She makes poppets instead.
I do. And they'll have your name on them. Right?
And I love ghost hunting grannies. I think it's fabulous. And I don't take offence to it whatsoever. But I am a granny. So, Julie, I love seeing you at Dubbo Jail. It was nice to see you too. Have you ever had a dream that appears so real that stays with you all day? You can describe everything and have gone back to bed the next night to continue it.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't gone to bed the next night to continue it, but I've certainly had dreams that I would have had 20, 30 years ago that I still remember, at least bits and pieces of. And yeah, they can be really real. And those dreams are very profound and they have specific meaning for you, Julie. So work out what those dreams are trying to say to you.
Even if you write them down in a journal or something.
Because that's your subconscious mind and it's trying to tell you something important.
Fiona, never fear, there's another one coming out Thursday. We are whipping ourselves along to make sure there is one every week. So that means we've had to do 2 some weeks so that we can have a week off in Norfolk Island, and we had a week off in Melbourne. Otherwise, they just say there won't be any that week, and we know we don't want to do that to our beautiful people who are enjoying this so much. Oh, that's right. You had the children with the toys in the middle of the night. Oh, good. Awesome.
Yeah, Renee, it's actually really important, and I've been fielding a bit of a conversation with someone online at the moment, And from the parapsychological point of view, one of the things that one of the people that we really look up to, Lloyd Auerbach, says...
Auerbach.
Says, talk to them. Ask them who they are. Ask them why they are there. Ask them what do they want to tell you. Speak to them and tell them to show you some sort of a sign. You are acknowledging them. You're not pushing them away. You're also creating the boundaries that are required, because you are the one that is living now in the house. And it's really, really important that you keep control. Keep the control.
I don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't listening because I was answering the next question.
No, you were
not.
So,
Miss Ghost Host, my favourite was the Portal Plus, which is only available on Android, but they went and changed it. They wrecked it. They made it into a meditation app with weird other noises, and so I've gone back to the original free, the Portal, which is only available on Android, and it is male, female, children's voices that have been recorded in a sound studio, real people, not dead people, and then it's played backwards and chopped up so it's no longer recognisable as speech, and it sounds like this. Right, so the way we use it is that we put people on headphones and they call out whatever they hear that is coming through the app, and we ask questions quietly so that we can't influence them trying to listen for something specific as an answer. So it's a sort of a version of the Estes method.
And we have people on their headphones, and what they're saying
That's what I was using, Justin, and the SB11.
What they're sort of saying is, oh, but I hear a man's voice, and I hear a woman's voice, and I hear a child's voice. Yes, you do, because they're the recorded voices. So you've got to look beyond whether it sounds male, female, or childish. You've got to look at what you are interpreting as the sounds coming through.
I think we might have a new addict. When they're choosing the tickets for the 17th of July, is there a drop-down bar and they choose the time?
No, there are two different, John, there are two different
links?
Ticket links. I'll see if I can find it and I'll show you.
Yeah, Isaac is a really great guy. I know that he talks about a lot of controversial stuff when he's doing his episodes, but he is a really decent guy, decent human being, and very funny.
So that one there, that with that picture on it, that's your 7 till 9. So I've got the two.
Is that on Newcastle Ghost Tours?
It's on Newcastle Ghost Tours. Sorry, that one's the 9 till 11. That one there. Oh, geez, you can't see it. That one there is a 7 to 9. So look for the darker one. That one.
Oh, good. I see what you've done now. Digital, clever.
That one there is your other one.
Msmachiavelli, for someone extremely interested in the paranormal, what is the best way to get into the field of investigating in a safe manner? First off, choose where you get your information from carefully. I started off by watching the ghost hunting TV shows and then developing a curiosity to know more and how the equipment worked. But a lot of the ghost hunting TV shows are designed for entertainment, and they have to hit certain marks to be able to sell advertising time to advertisers. So they will have a specific audience they need to please, so they will tailor their TV show to that audience. And America particularly is very much about demons, demonology, witches and scary stuff, and a lot of negativity. So it's not really a great training ground. Where we are studying at the moment is the Rhine Institute, and I'll put that down here for you. It's called the Rhine Institute. Institute, and they put out some very reasonably priced classes. There are great books by Lloyd Auerbach and Stephen Parsons and Carolyn, the Scottish lady. I will find that book for you in a second and put it up. But you can even Google those names on Facebook and on YouTube and find talks given by them. Also, Ghost Education 101 on the Paranormal United Network is doing a fantastic job of running free classes. So head over to the Paranormal United Network. It is on Facebook. They've now got us on there as well, and that was one of the things I had put up as a banner. This one here, let me find it. So they've brought us on board to be presenters. We have our own permanent time slot now for America, UK, which is 9 a.m. tomorrow morning for us. So they've got things going there all the time. So many different...
Yeah, almost 24/7.
But look up Ghost Educators 101 because that is really good. And Professor Paranormal as well. Sort of, I've had a gut instinct feel, but not overwhelming panic or fear. Be back in a sec. Oh.
Yeah, Kate, you've got to ask yourself, why is the panic or fear happening? Were you triggered prior to going into that particular space because maybe you are in a darkened environment, so you're already hypersensitive? Did somebody jump scare you 5 minutes ago and so you're already in that panicked state? One of the things as paranormal investigators, which we have to be in control of, is our fear levels, because there's no point going into a space when you are in fear, because you are already in a zone of bias, and that bias will say to you that anything that you seem to come across at this point in time will be something nasty or horrible. And we have to try and explore or investigate with just this attitude of, I'm not going to come to a conclusion before it happens, and I'm probably not going to come to a conclusion after it happens. I'm going to talk about it and hypothesize over it.
Oh, Louise, I love it, darling. So I apologise, as has been asked before. What's your favourite method of receiving paranormal information? With equipment, for me, it is either the spirit box or the portal using headphones. But my absolute favourite is seance style, using glass dowsing and table tipping.
Yeah, I'd have to say the same thing, because we are just so involved in the process of that.
And we went to class the other night, on Friday night. Yeah. Oh, they were such beautiful people. Introduction to seance, and wow, it was awesome.
I do love EVP work, because I think it is just that the recording of it. There's nothing else involved, just recording to see if you're getting anything. But yeah, hands-on stuff is just awesome.
Yes, Jules, we are definitely coming to Queensland this year. Absolutely. We'll be up later in the year. We've actually got a bit of a tour happening around regional Australia for our Naughty Nice Tarot show. Oh yeah, they were excited about Norfolk. I heard that Norfolk Island is haunted, and where the bounty is.
All of Norfolk Island's haunted, especially around Kingston.
I'm slowly sinking again.
Yeah, especially around the Kingston area and where the convicts were held. That is a place where a lot of ghost hunting occurs. It certainly does when we... What are you doing? When we are there, that's where we spend a lot of time. And so, you know, we have found plenty of areas around there.
This is how they filmed The Hobbit, by using forced perspective, so that I've backed down a little bit and Renata's forward, so that makes her look like I'm a child size compared to her, but it's just I'm back further from her. See how the eyes can deceive you? Now if I come forward and put my chair back up, were all of a sudden the same height. She's still skinnier than me, but see how that can trick the eyes?
Miss Ghost Hunt, do you ever investigate people's haunted homes and help them out all the time? All the time. When they call us.
John's gone, boo, I am the real John. Yeah, Renee, 2021 has been a little bit of a challenge because people were expecting it to all go back to normal. Sorry, I am just trying to find...
Hi, Joanne.
Oh, question 4. I haven't seen 1, 2 or 3.
Oh, yeah.
That's weird.
Sometimes portable tree, sometimes I kind of get them jumping in the car.
Oh yeah, she jumps and it scares the hell out of me.
And I know they're there because I'm more than likely going to speak to someone that they need to leave a message for. So it does happen. Not all the time, but it does happen. Yeah. Other than that, I've got my tour guider's hat on when our tours are on, and I'm focusing to make sure that everything's going well.
John, send Crispy a friend request and she can message you that link. Brilliant mentioning bias. Oh, now wasn't that interesting about Copeland? Gloucester and Copeland.
Oh, really?
Not going there?
Well, look, to be honest, we've had some feedback from some of the locals, and I think there is a little bit of a sense of not really knowing what we do, that we're just out to have some shenanigans and parties and make everything fun. I suppose
there'll be some teenagers that would enjoy that sort of thing, is the comment.
Not seriousness. What we do with all seriousness. Actually, we kind of jump down people's throats if they're making fun of it, because that's just not what we do as a team. That's not what our shtick is. So when you come on a tour or an investigation with us, be prepared. It's serious stuff. We take it all very, very seriously. We look after our sites. We look after our guests. We provide financial backup for them as well. We pay to be at these sites. They are not free. Often we are taking guides and volunteers with us, which costs us money because we have to accommodate them and buy food for them as well. And so all of these things add up to make the cost of a tour what it is. We don't just pull it out of our backside and go, $150 sounds good, let's charge that. No, we sit down with a calculator and we actually work it all out and make sure that we are still in the parameters of being able to take the number of people that we can during this COVID time. So our numbers have actually come down in most cases by a third or a half. So you get a more personalised experience, but it means we take less people on the tours, which means we are trying desperately to just make sure we're covering our costs and making money. Yep. So we're not just stirring shit up and pulling a number out of our backsides because it sounds good.
What do they call it? Hemorrhoid backside.
Yeah. Look,
so stuck record there. If
you are going into paranormal investigating and running tours because you think you're going to make money out of it, stop now, because it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. So we do it because we love it. It does pay for us to go and investigate and be at these wonderful sites, but more often than not, we're making very little out of it.
Certainly not enough to make a living.
Oh no, not even close.
Maybe one day.
I would not have this year. I would not have even made.
Sorry, we had to do this one.
I would not have even made New Start. I would not have even made New Start. Right? That's just to let you know, guys, the reality of it.
All right, so Renee, question about past lives. My mother used to say that the fears we have in this life are carried over from our past lives. I hate my neck being touched, so she used to say I must have been strangled, hanged in a past life. What's your take?
Possible.
Trauma?
Yeah, there is
intergenerational trauma.
Yeah, there is some linking with intergenerational trauma, and there is some psychological work that is done, and they actually call it family constellations.
Oh, I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, family constellations.
So I'm learning as well.
Where you are intertwined with every other member of your family, irrespective of whether they're living or they're dead. And therefore you can carry on some of their trauma depending on how bad the trauma was. Sometimes looking at what that trauma is can actually help you clear your own DNA, your own trauma, and can help down the line. So it is something that you might need to kind of resolve within yourself, whether it be some sort of a ritualistic release or some sort of healing or trauma work that might be able to help, even if it's some trauma healing. And that can actually help and assist not only you, but also your ancestors.
For those who are after the Paranormal United Network Ghost Education 101.
And Anne and Renata Good is actually Christy, and Christy can help you also with that healing process if you require.
Christy, if you'd like to put your links up.
Too. She does Zoom meetings.
And your dog does Zoomies.
And your dog does
oh, that's we're up to Msmachiavelli.
Predictive dreams, they are very real. They're part of what I guess parapsychologists look at in what the brain can actually do, apart from our normal senses that we have. This sixth sense certainly does seem to exist in many people in a strong way, and sometimes because we block everything in our daily lives, sometimes these things can only come through in our dreams, when the conscious mind has the ability to enter into our space without us saying, that's weird. And so then you have a predictive dream.
Jodie, I'm so glad you're having some success with the portal. That's awesome. It's so good when teams share knowledge and experiences. Stephen, what's this? I have a great massive location. Oh, you lucky boy. Oh, location. Right. Whenever you're ready, you will truly enjoy it. And then I saw something down here as well. It will be the Masonic Temple in Salina, Kansas. 8-story building. It will all be yours. I'll bring some other people too. Let's have some fun.
That sounds awesome, Stephen. Once we get on that plane, we may not come back for a really long time. So we'll be ready.
I think we're allowed to have 90 days or 60 days. It might be 60 days that we can be out of the country in America. I remember staying there with my son. I was there for just a week short of whatever the maximum amount of time was when he was starting out.
I'd love to, Stephen.
Oh, you've got no idea how...
Hi, Three Beards.
Hi, how are you, Craig?
Jump onto Three Beards podcast and listen to their podcast as well.
Fancy waking up to our faces first thing in the morning. How's that going for you?
The Three Bearded Beauties had us on as guests.
Oh, have you been called that before? And the Three Bearded Beauties?
And we had a fabulous time.
Oh. What's this? Extremely professional tours. I obviously haven't done any research. Yeah, that's right. Epigenetics, of course, Danielle. That's the word. That's our gorgeous Danielle, who is one of our Patreon parastalkers.
And an ace with the brainy information.
Oh my God, she comes up with such good stuff after listening to one of our episodes of
True Hauntings.
True Hauntings. So hang on, which hat were we wearing at that time? We're a little tired tonight.
Now, our last True Hauntings episode, if you've missed it, is actually a local one. It's all about Jenny Dixon Beach, that's the one, Jenny Dixon Beach, and the ghostly stories that are out there. So if you are a local, if you live around the Central Coast or even Sydney area, it might be something that you're interested in, because there are lots and lots of stories and legends about people who have seen something spooky around the Central Coast, around Wilfred Barrett Drive and Jenny Dixon Beach. And we kind of explore some of those stories, and we actually come up with some really interesting research and information.
Hi, Jenny. Jenny's one of our grand poobahs.
Hi, gorgeous Jenny.
With the premonitions, always just write them down somewhere first and put the date on them, and then see what comes up and then see what matches. What's that? Must let us know you're in Florida. Well, I am planning to get down to Florida because I want to go visit Sean at Ghost Stop. He's one of our suppliers for Oz Paratech. For all your ghost hunting needs, which reminds me I should put that back up. If anyone wants a private reading with Renata, you can book her this way. Okay, did you see the tag? No, because we've been away in Dubbo for a couple of days and we've only really got back on deck today, so haven't seen that yet. We'll go looking for it.
Did you know that there was never a ship called the Jenny Dixon?
Crickets.
So it's called Jenny Dixon Beach because it's supposed to be named after a ship that was shipwrecked there, but there was never any Jenny Dixon vessel. So check it out.
Oh, there we are. I'll pop that one up for a bit. Any other questions for us?
We want to take a moment just to thank our beautiful poobahs and parastalkers, those that are our Patreon supporters. They pay $10 and $5 a month.
American, or $14 Australian.
To support us. We do give them some private sessions during the month as payback. They get to know when our tours are coming up.
We accidentally went live to the wrong page the other day to tell them secrets, and it was the whole group, and I went, ah!
We do tell them secrets. They are held to account because we do tell them secrets about some of the things that are going on behind the scenes for us. So if you want to become a Patreon and get into the inner circle, the inner sanctum that is frightfully good, you'll have to head to our Patreon page and sign up.
What's your take on UFOs? I think it's absolutely possible. It's not my area of expertise, not what I'm involved in. I may have had a UFO experience myself on a flight from Sydney to London, which I cannot explain, and left me with a hole in my abdomen that was so deep it took weeks to heal. Yeah, but I think it's possible, absolutely. Why would we be vain enough to think we are the only intelligent species out of that whole
Because that's what
galaxy.
Humans do.
Yeah.
They think they're really special.
We're special.
We're so special.
I'm not sure what that means, Erin.
It means that she takes someone with her.
All right.
As a special
I think
needs.
Maitland Jail does that, don't they?
Yeah, Erin, Maitland Jail will
Contact
do that.
Maitland Jail.
Yep. Louise Kendall had a really good question. My friend and I want to go on our first proper ghost tour, but she's afraid she will take someone home with her.
It's a common thing.
What should we do to make sure we leave the spirits at their location? If your tour group is really, really good, what they will do is they will close down all of those entry points for communication before you leave. So have a talk to your tour group and ask them what they do. What do they do to protect people that come on the tours? For us, we open up to connections at the beginning. We ask everyone to give a permission to do so out aloud, and then at the end we always close everything down. It's a little bit like turning off your mobile phone after a phone call. You actually physically do it so that the communication links do not stay open, and that's as simple as it is, Louise. You can carry as many medallions, and you can sage the shit out of everywhere and whatever. The thing is, you have to be with people that you can trust and that are looking after you, and that's the most important thing.
And if they don't, then simple ways to do that is to say, I remove all permissions. You do not have permission to follow me home. You must stay here. You are in charge, and you have to believe that, okay? And I got taught a technique as I was leaving a location. I imagined that all of it got pushed out behind me as I drove through the gate, and that every street light I drove under was like a wall of light that I drove through, and again everything was flushed out behind me. It was a visualization thing. I don't worry about that stuff now. I don't even think about it. Oh, Joe, it's another poo bar. Bless you.
Hi, Joe.
And Paul wants a poo bar. Oh, and I've apparently dangled a carrot now.
For what? For portable tree?
Further explanation is required, Anne, in regards to my comment about the UFO.
Ah.
All right. For those who haven't heard that story before, I used to teach singing, and one of my students, Jai Fresca, got a scholarship to go and study in England, and I always said to him, the day you get a lead role in a musical, I will fly over and I will come and sit and watch your show because I'll be so super proud. Well, he did get a role. So my dad and I flew over to England to watch Jai on stage in West Side Story. And as we were flying over, we'd been on the plane for quite some time. It was wee hours of the morning. It was dark. They had all the lights off, so it was sleep time. All these alarms started going off, and the lights came on in the plane. This emergency announcement started saying, emergency, emergency, there's been a breach in cabin pressure. We are descending to a lower altitude. Then it just sort of kept blaring and lights, and there's people, the cabin crew running around going, what the hell's going on? And then the captain comes across and says, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we're not quite sure what's going on here. We will endeavour to find out. And he gets cut off by the alarm again. Warning, warning, breach in cabin pressure. We are descending to a lower altitude. The oxygen masks then drop out. This is terrifying when you're over water in the middle of bum duck nowhere. So we're grabbing them oxygen masks and pulling it over our head and trying to remember everything you taught them and you never watched the bloody hostesses. The captain came on again and said, there is no breach in cabin pressure. We don't know why the alarms have gone off. Just hang tight, everyone. We will get this sorted. And so they made an emergency landing somewhere in Bangkok or somewhere like that, and got us off the plane. They had to go and repack all the masks, and they just think it was something, they don't know what triggered it, really. Anyway, eventually we get to England. Hours and hours and hours late. Wee hours in the morning. We were actually wondering if we could even get into our hotel room. So I've gone into the room with my dad, and I've gone into the bathroom and went to take my shirt off I've been travelling in to go and get my pyjamas. And it was stuck to my belly. And I've gone, what the hell? And on there was some blood, and my t-shirt was stuck to my belly. So I had to get water and wet it down until I could get the shirt off. And then in my abdomen was a hole, probably not quite a centimetre, probably about 2/3 of a centimetre, that was straight in. Now, it was enough to bleed onto my t-shirt and stick it to my stomach. You would think if I had hurt myself somehow or other, that I would remember an injury like that. But I don't remember an injury like that. And there was no hole through my clothing. It was just this hole going into my abdomen. And at that time I didn't think to question it. I'd arrived in London. I'd changed my clocks into the normal time, so I didn't know whether there was any time lost at any stage or other. It was not in a period of my life that I was so heavily into all of this stuff. But yeah. And then the funny thing was, the last probably 6 years I've been trying to get DNA done. And I did 8 tests and it kept coming back saying, we can't get your DNA. And I kept saying, that's it. And I'm adopted as well. I said, I'm an alien baby. They were coming to take me back.
Louise was saying that, Louise Kendall, it will be either at Altona Homestead in Melbourne or Pentridge Prison.
Where?
Go up. No, down. No, stay, just your pointer, the pointer. Take it up.
Oh, Louise Kendall,
yes,
right,
yeah,
okay, thank you.
So that should be part of APS, isn't it? They do Pentridge?
Yeah, Bill has done tours at Pentridge Prison. I'm not sure. Don't know about Altona Homestead.
So you should be fine. If it's Bill to Bone and his group, you'll be fine. He's been doing this.
He's like the grandfather of paranormal in Australia. He's not that old. Alright, that's odd. What? No DNA. Eventually they did get the DNA out of me, but only after my daughter got her DNA done, and we worked out what her DNA was, and then they were able to do a match to me from my daughter.
Okay, so, Louise, if it's Lantern Ghost Tours, some ghost tour companies only use...
Surprise! There we go! Hide it! Quick! Hide
it! The reality of life.
It's all the boxes and the recording sound studios over there.
Okay, some ghost tours only use like actors or people who work in the theatre, people who are just there to create and do a great tour for you, but they know very little actually about the paranormal. That might not even be of interest to them. So I guess, again, you're going to have to ask the questions about, who's taking the tour, do they know about, in people being possessed during the tour, what would they do, blah, 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 blah. But I know with Lantern Tours, a lot of the tour guides are just paid to learn a script and do the script. And beyond that, they really don't know how to answer the questions. And that's fine.
There's even some lady in Melbourne who got a grant from someone, bought up all equipment, is not a paranormal investigator, but she's going to run tours. It's like, you do realise what you're getting yourself into. It'll be a hoot, it'll be a giggle, it'll be a bit of fun. I'm like, okay, enjoy that. Yeah, these guys are paid actors, yep. Oh, the skeleton. I think he's sitting on a chair over the back there somewhere.
Don't touch it. Don't touch it. We're nearly done.
Yeah, he's on the big chair down the back somewhere. Renata's pulled her thing right up around the corner now, so it's all going to go tumbling back. It's in front of the bookcase. It's normally behind it. That actually... no, that was Auntie Anne rolling her chair backwards and clipping the green screen and pulling everything over.
Guys, do us a favour. If you are not a TikTok regular, I totally understand.
I totally get it.
But we do have a TikTok channel. A Nick channel. If you would like to subscribe to that, that would be awesome. Because we'll have some funny things coming up on there.
Yes, because we've decided to respond to people, which is a hoot.
Yeah.
Anyway, that brings us to the end of the hour today. So thank you for joining us.
Thursday might be a little bit tricky.
We're going to try.
Yeah, so for anyone who is hanging out for the tarot show on Thursday, it might be a bit tricky. We will be doing it, if we do it, from the airport hotel. Because we will, in the morning, be jumping on a plane to go to Norfolk Island.
On Friday morning.
You can expect tons of lives from there.
Well,
if we can.
If we can get signal.
If we can. If not, what we'll do is we'll record and send you the recordings.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about... Yes, we have been to Port Arthur. I couldn't get on any of the ghost tours, though, to do it. But had a great walk around. It was awesome. Oh, John's bought the ticket for the 17th of July. We've got an addict. Welcome to the family, John.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
Oh, you'd like to repost our TikTok? Thank you. Well, we really appreciate that. Yeah, we love you to repost your TikTok. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll get some of the TikToks up and then share them around. So hopefully Thursday night, fingers crossed, but definitely 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, New South Wales time. We'll be doing our UK USA show, and then I don't know.
No, we've got a huge week.
Yeah.
Absolutely huge week, because we're doing some podcasts. We've had to pre-record some podcasts, so they will be going up when we're not really here, but that's what you do. We will be doing loads of lives. We have such an amazing itinerary for this Norfolk Island tour, and we are hoping that we might be able to organise another Norfolk Island tour at some point in time in the next few months after that. Because
is that Lily Dale that you meant, Lisa?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
We had accommodation booked in Lilydale. We were going to Lilydale until Miss Rona decided to have a tantrum. So we had to cancel everything that we had booked in there. So sad. We would so love to go and do... I want to go table tip with those guys. It would just be the best. Are you from Lilydale, Lisa?
Yes, Salem. It was another one that was on our list. We were going to spend, I think, 3 or 4 days in Salem, buying loads of stuff.
We were staying in a Harry Potter B&B.
Yeah, Colleen. And then we also had a trip to New Orleans planned, and that went belly up as well, Colleen. So yeah, all of those wonderful things that we had organised for last year, just unfortunately we couldn't do. But the hope is we will do it soon. We will do it soon.
Oh, that's so lovely to say, Julie. All right, we need to get off here. Thank you guys so much for being here and supporting our show. And we will see you all very soon tomorrow morning if you want to watch.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Love you.
See you on the dark side.